In the wilderness of Judah, David moved like a shadow. 400 men followed him through caves and crags, through forests and strongholds. Behind them, Saul hunted with 3,000 chosen soldiers. The king, who had thrown spears at David in his own house, now scoured the land to end his life. But the wilderness would reveal something unexpected. Not the strength of David's arm, but the restraint of his heart. Saul received word that David was in the desert of En-Gedi. He took 3,000 able young men from all Israel and set out to look for David and his men near the crags of the wild goats. He came to a place where sheep were kept along the road. There was a cave, and Saul went in to relieve himself. David and his men were hiding far back in that same cave. The men whispered to David, "This is the day the Lord spoke of when he said, 'I will give your enemy into your hands for you to deal with as you wish.'" David crept up. His hand found his knife. Silently, he cut off a corner of Saul's robe. Then he stopped. Afterward, David was conscience-stricken for having cut off a corner of Saul's robe. He said to his men, "The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, or lay my hand on him, for he is the anointed of the Lord." With these words, David sharply rebuked his men and did not allow them to attack Saul. Saul left the cave and went his way. Then David went out of the cave and called after him, "My lord the king!" Saul looked behind him. David bowed down and prostrated himself with his face to the ground. David said, "Why do you listen when men say David is bent on harming you? This day you have seen with your own eyes how the Lord delivered you into my hands in the cave. Some urged me to kill you, but I spared you. I said, 'I will not lay my hand on my Lord, because he is the Lord's anointed.'" He held up the corner of the robe. "See, my father, look at this piece of your robe in my hand. I cut off the corner of your robe, but did not kill you. See that there is nothing in my hand to indicate that I am guilty of wrongdoing or rebellion. I have not wronged you, but you are hunting me down to take my life. May the Lord judge between you and me, and may the Lord avenge the wrongs you have done to me, but my hand will never be against you." David continued, "Against whom has the king of Israel come out? Who are you pursuing? A dead dog? A flea? May the Lord be our judge and decide between us. May he consider my cause and uphold it. May he vindicate me by delivering me from your hand." When David finished speaking, Saul's voice broke. "Is that your voice, David my son?" And Saul wept aloud. "You are more righteous than I," he said. "You have treated me well, but I have treated you badly. You have just now told me about the good you did to me. The Lord delivered me into your hands, but you did not kill me. When a man finds his enemy, does he let him get away unharmed? May the Lord reward you well for the way you treated me today. I know that you will surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel will be established in your hands. Now swear to me by the Lord that you will not kill off my descendants or wipe out my name from my father's family." David gave his oath. Saul returned home, but David and his men went up to the stronghold. He knew better than to trust a moment of tears. Time passed. Samuel the prophet died. All Israel assembled and mourned for him. They buried him at his home in Ramah. David moved to the desert of Paran. Then came a second test. Word reached Saul that David was in the desert of Ziph. He went down with his 3,000 chosen men to search for David. David sent out scouts and learned that Saul had definitely arrived. He went to the place where Saul had camped. He saw where Saul and Abner, son of Ner, the commander of the army, were lying. Saul was sleeping inside the camp with the army encamped around him. David spoke to his men, "Who will go down into the camp with me to Saul?" Abishai said, "I will go with you." So David and Abishai went to the army by night. There was Saul lying asleep inside the camp with his spear stuck in the ground near his head. Abner and the soldiers were lying around him. Abishai whispered, "Today God has delivered your enemy into your hands. Now let me pin him to the ground with one thrust of the spear. I will not strike him twice." David answered, "Do not destroy him. Who can lay a hand on the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? As surely as the Lord lives, the Lord himself will strike him, or his time will come and he will die, or he will go into battle and perish. But the Lord forbid that I should lay a hand on the Lord's anointed." Instead, David took the spear and water jug that were near Saul's head. They left. No one saw them, no one knew, no one woke up. A deep sleep from the Lord had fallen on them. David crossed over to the other side and stood on top of a hill some distance away. He called out to the army and to Abner, "Abner, are you not answering me?" Abner replied, "Who are you who calls to the king?" David said, "You are a man, are you not? And who is like you in Israel? Why did you not guard your lord the king? Someone came to destroy your lord the king. What you have done is not good. As surely as the Lord lives, you and your men must die, because you did not guard your master, the Lord's anointed." He held up the evidence. "Look around you. Where are the king's spear and water jug that were near his head?" Saul recognized David's voice. "Is that your voice, David my son?" David answered, "Yes, it is, my lord the king." He continued, "Why is my lord pursuing his servant? What have I done, and what wrong am I guilty of? Now let my lord the king listen to his servant's words. If the Lord has incited you against me, then may he accept an offering. If, however, people have done it, may they be cursed before the Lord. They have driven me today from my share in the Lord's inheritance, and have said, 'Go, serve other gods.' Now do not let my blood fall to the ground far from the presence of the Lord. The king of Israel has come out to look for a flea, as one hunts a partridge in the mountains." Saul said, "I have sinned. Come back, David my son. Because you considered my life precious today, I will not try to harm you again. Surely I have acted like a fool and have been terribly wrong." David answered, "Here is the king's spear. Let one of your young men come over and get it. The Lord rewards everyone for their righteousness and faithfulness. The Lord delivered you into my hands today, but I would not lay a hand on the Lord's anointed. As surely as I valued your life today, so may the Lord value my life and deliver me from all trouble." Saul blessed him. "May you be blessed, David my son. You will do great things and surely triumph." Then David went on his way, and Saul returned home. Twice David had the chance to kill his pursuer. Twice he chose restraint. Twice he honored the anointing on Saul's head, even when Saul had forfeited the spirit within. This was not weakness. This was a man who understood something deeper than revenge. The Lord had anointed Saul. Only the Lord could remove him. David would not take by violence what God had promised to give. In the next episode, David will face a different kind of test, one involving a foolish man, a wise woman, and a moment where his restraint almost failed. If this story moved you, please consider subscribing and sharing.